Are you taking your blood pressure pills at the most dangerous time? 5 mistakes seniors must avoid. What if the blood pressure medication you've trusted for years is quietly putting you at risk because of a mistake nobody ever warned you about? Not because your doctor gave you the wrong prescription. Not because the medication doesn't work. But because of something so simple that millions of adults over 60 do it every single day without even thinking about it. In fact, one of today's mistakes could be increasing your risk of dizziness, falls, stroke, heart attack, and hospitalization right now. And the most shocking part? You may have been doing it for years. Before we begin, I want you to do 2 things. First, tell me your age in the comments below. Second, answer this question. Do you take your blood pressure medication in the morning or at bedtime? I'm genuinely curious because viewers from around the world often have very different routines, and your answer may help someone else who is watching today. And if you care about staying independent, protecting your memory, keeping your heart strong, and learning practical health strategies designed specifically for adults over 60, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every week I share evidence-based health information that could help you avoid preventable health problems and enjoy more healthy years with the people you love. Now let's talk about something most people never hear during a routine medical appointment. Your blood pressure is not the same throughout the day. It changes constantly. While you sleep, blood pressure naturally falls. Doctors call this nocturnal dipping. Then, as morning approaches, your body begins preparing to wake up. Stress hormones rise. Your nervous system becomes more active. Your heart rate increases. Blood vessels tighten slightly. Blood pressure begins climbing. This process is known as the morning surge. For younger adults, this is usually not a major concern. But after age 60, arteries become less flexible. Blood vessels become stiffer. The cardiovascular system becomes more vulnerable. Research has repeatedly shown that heart attacks, strokes, and sudden cardiac events occur more frequently during the morning hours than at many other times of the day. That's why understanding how your medication works with your body's natural rhythm may be one of the most important things you ever learn about managing high blood pressure. Let's begin with a mistake that millions of people make before breakfast. For many people, coffee isn't just a beverage. It's a ritual. It signals the start of a new day. Millions of older adults wake up, take their medication, and immediately drink a cup of coffee. It seems harmless. But depending on the medication you're taking, this routine may not be helping you. Certain medications known as beta blockers work by slowing the effects of adrenaline on the heart. They reduce heart rate, lower blood pressure, and decrease strain on the cardiovascular system. Coffee does the opposite. The caffeine stimulates your nervous system, raises alertness, increases heart rate, and can temporarily elevate blood pressure. Imagine pressing the accelerator and brake pedal at the same time. That's a simple way to understand the conflict that can occur. I once cared for a retired teacher named Margaret. Every morning she experienced a fluttering sensation in her chest. She worried constantly that she was developing a serious heart condition. She underwent testing and spent months anxious about her symptoms. Eventually we reviewed her morning routine and discovered she was drinking 2 large cups of coffee immediately after taking her beta blocker. After discussing the issue with her healthcare team and adjusting her timing, the symptoms gradually improved. Sometimes the problem isn't the medication. Sometimes it's the routine surrounding it. Another mistake may be sitting in your refrigerator right now. Grapefruit. Most people think grapefruit is one of the healthiest foods available. It's rich in vitamins, refreshing, and often recommended as part of a healthy diet. But grapefruit contains natural compounds that can interfere with enzymes responsible for processing certain medications. These enzymes act like gatekeepers. They help regulate how much medication enters your bloodstream. When grapefruit interferes with those enzymes, medication levels can rise higher than intended. For some blood pressure medications, this can increase the risk of dizziness, weakness, low blood pressure, and even fainting. A gentleman named Robert began experiencing episodes of lightheadedness shortly after breakfast. He assumed age was catching up with him. But after reviewing his routine, we discovered he had recently started drinking grapefruit juice every morning because he believed it was healthier than orange juice. Once the interaction was identified and his routine was adjusted, his symptoms improved dramatically. The lesson here isn't that grapefruit is dangerous. The lesson is that healthy foods can sometimes interact with medications in unexpected ways. Always ask your pharmacist whether grapefruit is compatible with your prescription. Now I want to ask you something. How many years have you been taking blood pressure medication? 1 year? 5 years? 10 years? More than 20 years? Let me know in the comments, because what we're about to discuss next may be the most overlooked mistake of all, and it affects millions of seniors every single night without them realizing it. The next mistake often disguises itself as aging. People think they're simply getting older. They assume poor sleep is normal. They assume waking up multiple times during the night is unavoidable. But sometimes the real problem is medication timing. Water pills, also known as diuretics, are among the most commonly prescribed treatments for high blood pressure. They help your body remove excess fluid, reducing pressure within your blood vessels. They are highly effective medications. But timing matters. Imagine forgetting your morning dose and taking it with dinner. Several hours later, while you're trying to sleep, your kidneys begin working harder. Your bladder fills more quickly. You wake up once, then twice, then perhaps 3 times before sunrise. Every trip to the bathroom becomes a risk. Blood pressure can drop when standing. Balance may be unstable. Vision may be impaired in low light. Falls remain one of the leading causes of hospitalization among older adults. A single fall can change a life forever. Patricia, a retired librarian in her 70s, believed she had severe insomnia. She woke up 3 or 4 times every night for nearly 2 years. When her medication schedule was reviewed, we discovered she had been taking her diuretic every evening with dinner. After adjusting the timing with her physician's guidance, her sleep improved dramatically. Imagine suffering for years because of a simple scheduling issue. That's why awareness matters. If you've learned something useful so far, subscribe to the channel right now, because the next 2 mistakes may be even more important than anything we've discussed so far. Missing medication happens to almost everyone. Life gets busy. Schedules change. We become distracted. Then suddenly we remember that forgotten pill. Many people immediately think, I'll just take 2 later and catch up. Unfortunately, that's not always safe. Blood pressure medications are prescribed in carefully calculated amounts. Taking an extra dose can sometimes cause blood pressure to fall too low and too quickly. The result may include dizziness, weakness, confusion, fainting, and dangerous falls. I remember a retired engineer named Dennis who accidentally missed his morning medication and decided to double his dose later in the day. Within hours, he became extremely dizzy while walking through his home. Fortunately, he sat down before falling. What he thought was a responsible decision nearly caused a serious injury. On the other hand, some people begin skipping doses because they feel fine. This is equally dangerous. High blood pressure often causes no symptoms until damage has already occurred. That's why hypertension is known as the silent killer. Feeling good does not always mean your blood pressure is under control. And now we've arrived at the most important mistake in today's video. The mistake that has sparked debate among researchers and cardiovascular specialists around the world. For decades, millions of people were told exactly the same thing. Take your blood pressure medication in the morning. It became standard practice. Few people questioned it. Then researchers began studying what happens during the early morning hours when blood pressure naturally rises. They noticed something fascinating. Many heart attacks and strokes occur during this period. This led researchers to ask a simple but important question. Could some patients benefit from taking their medication at bedtime instead? One of the most discussed studies in this field followed thousands of patients and suggested that bedtime dosing might reduce cardiovascular risk in certain individuals. Headlines quickly appeared around the world. Some people assumed everyone should immediately switch to nighttime dosing. But medicine is rarely that simple. Additional research produced mixed results. Some studies found benefits. Others found little difference. The most important takeaway is not that everyone should take medication at night. The takeaway is that medication timing should be personalized. The best schedule depends on your medication, your age, your kidney function, your cardiovascular health, your sleep patterns, and your unique blood pressure profile. That's why it's so important to discuss timing with your healthcare provider rather than making changes on your own. Before we finish, I want to leave you with something important. Every person watching this video is carrying a responsibility. Some are managing high blood pressure. Some are caring for a spouse. Some are helping aging parents. Some are trying their best to remain healthy and independent. The fact that you're here means you care about your health, and that matters. Growing older does not mean giving up control. It means becoming more informed, more intentional, more proactive. The choices you make today can influence how you feel months and even years from now. A simple adjustment in timing. A conversation with your doctor. A question asked at the pharmacy. These small actions can have a surprisingly large impact on your future health. Now I want to hear from you. Which of today's 5 mistakes surprised you the most? Was it coffee and medication? Grapefruit interactions? Taking water pills too late? Doubling up after a missed dose? Or learning that medication timing may matter more than most people realize? Tell me in the comments below. I read as many comments as possible, and your story may help someone else avoid a serious mistake. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with a friend or family member who takes blood pressure medication. One conversation, one question, or one piece of information could make all the difference. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of your heart, take care of your health, stay informed, stay proactive, and I'll see you in the next video.